What up, guys? James from Bolt Bros here. Playoffs, we are in, locked in, boys. We are currently at the 6th seed, but we got a chance to get to the 5th seed. So we could talk more about that. But also, I want to chat about the job Jim Harbaugh and Joe Hortiz has done for this team. Guys, we are in an era that we might have never been able to see as Chargers fans. This might be the beginning of a strong, strong era for the Chargers. So I'm excited about it. You should be very excited about it. So once again, let's get into it, guys. Bolt Bros, let's go. Bolt Bros. Once again, guys, appreciate all the love and support. Please like this video, subscribe to this channel if you've not. Appreciate all the support that you've done for us. And also slap some comments and below about the playoffs, guys. We are there. We are locked in. Chargers went out and handled their business against New England. 40-7, just a straight beatdown. And even that 7 points that we gave up was kind of a garbage touchdown in a sense. But hey, you got to love seeing these type of wins for the Chargers, regardless of how bad the opponent is. You should be outplaying and just manhandle teams just like we did last week versus the Patriots. And it was really cool to see a lot of fans show up at the Bolt too after all the Chargers players came back and celebrated and just started cheering them on about the playoffs and everything like that and locking it in. So really cool to see that. Shout out to the fans for that. Very, very cool to see that. So, but I do want to say, once again, we're in a really, really new era for the Chargers. Now, this is an era that we are potentially going to see the best era of the Chargers that we've ever seen. An era where we have really, really got legitimate chances to get, playoffs and such too. Now I get it with the Eric Coryell years. We had some phenomenal teams, high offense, great looking teams, but just never could get to that Super Bowl era. Obviously Bobby Ross got us to a Super Bowl, but it was a very, very short era that we had with him. Marty Schottenheimer, really good era, but just never could get to that point too. Norv Turner got us to an AFC championship game. That was a very short-lived era. I think the thing is, though, with Jim Harbaugh, we have a chance to have a very long, high-level playing era with this team. And you guys know that, all about his history and everything. And I'll chat more about that here shortly. But the best thing about this whole thing is that he's doing this with a somewhat of a rebuild year. Basically, a team that has a little bit less talent all around. You got to think about what the moves Joe Hortiz had to do to make this work. We were very, very under the salary cap, over the salary cap, and we had to make adjustments. We had to let go of Austin Eckler. We let go of Mike Williams, Keenan Allen, Kenneth Murray being another guy that we let go. We let go a lot of pieces throughout, and then we had to find ways to rebuild this team up with a lot of talent and a lot of one-year based contracts too. And a lot of those have been great hits for us all around. So they have done a phenomenal job on the side of managing the team to also the drafting of things. You just got to think about, we lose some offensive weapons. We go out and get a Joe Alt with the 5th pick, which everybody's like, oh no, get Malik Neighbors, who has a phenomenal season thus far too. But we went 2nd round with Lad McConkey and is right on par and even above some of these high draft picks too. You got to love it. And then also you say the whole pick with Cam Hart, with Tarheeb Still. There's a lot of these picks that have just really panned out very, very well. So we're going to have a much better organization, a much better draft. We're going to get a lot more talent on this team all around with this coaching staff. You got to love what we're bringing to this team. And once again, shout out to the Spanoses on this too. They spent some money with adding the new Bolt. Phenomenal facility. Great facility for anybody walking into that building thinking, I want to play for the Chargers. On top of that, now you got a coach. We always say we got adults in the room now for a coaching staff. Jim Harbaugh is a phenomenal coach, and we got to be very, very blessed that we have him as a head coach. And honestly, I'm still in shock that we basically have him as a head coach. But I did want to show one little stat here, just kind of showing Jim Harbaugh as an NFL coach. Now, I will say one thing here too. Everywhere that he has gone, he has won. Flat out. Everywhere you go, from San Diego to Stanford to Niners to Michigan, now to the Chargers, he's having that same repetition. This guy, people buy into him. People buy into what he is selling. And, the great thing, and I remember even in his introduction press conference, he talked about how I need to be better for the players. And it's, I think, the same reciprocation from the players to the coach. I need to be better for my coach. And when you got guys buying in the system, it's phenomenal. Just watch some of those after win victory speeches in the locker room. You could just tell the players are just wanting to do it for him. and it's awesome to see. Now, I know his early on tenure, he was a little bit more of a hothead, and I think that's what ultimately ended his Niners, head coaching position, and how he went to Michigan shortly after that. Because I think the thing is, he started not vibing well with the ownership, Jed York, and it didn't go well with him. That fourth season, 2014, basically ultimately ended up his last season, and it was time for him to go. So he ended up going to Michigan. I think he grew up essentially going to Michigan, and we also got a great version of Jim Harbaugh, who just came off a national championship too. So he's hungry to be able to go out there and try to win a Super Bowl now too. So once again, these stats right here, guys, you got Niners first year, a team that was I think it was a 5-12 team. Maybe it was less than 5-11 team. I think actually it was a 16-game season during that time. He changed them to 13-3 the next season, got to the NFC Championship game, lost that. Next year, 11-4-1, got to the Super Bowl, lost versus the Ravens, but then 12-4 the next season, NFC Championship game, lost that one. Then the final season with the Niners, 8-8, missed playoffs. Now we're in the Chargers era. You got to think this is 10 years later from his last tenure in the NFL. He's learned a lot. And also he just won a national championship with Michigan. He's a different coach. I think he's matured as a coach. He's matured as a human being. And I think at this point in time, I think we got the best version of Jim Harbaugh. Currently 10-6. He has a chance to go to 11-7 or 11-6. The thing is, though, what's great about this is that even if you watch the post-game celebration on the Patriots game, he said, hey, look, great job getting to 10, but we could get to 11. Let's make it happen. So it's not like they're going to just sit down and just not do anything about it. And they're going to go out there and try to make it happen for this season to be able to end on 11 wins, which would be absolutely phenomenal. Once again, we were 5-12 last season. It was miserable to watch all around. And a huge flip like that, once again, under Jim Harbaugh, this guy just knows how to win. And everybody kind of knew where it was going. He was going playoffs, right? And also, it was a little bit of extra motivation. Jim Harbaugh did get a $1 million bonus for getting to the playoffs. So, hey, he's getting that money, he's getting that bag, and he's going to get us into the playoffs, and we'll see where we go. But once again, this era of Chargers football with Joe Hortiz and Jim Harbaugh is going to be phenomenal, guys. We all got to be very, very happy about where we're sitting at right now. How many coaches have we gone through, guys? But let's talk about playoffs and kind of the situations here. So, really cool thing. So Chargers are still in the running to be able to get to the top 5 seed or the 5th seed for the wild card. So it would be the top of the wild card seed. So basically what it is, cool thing too, Ravens and Steelers, it's basically the whole NFC North is playing on Saturday. And Ravens play first against the Browns. So they could clinch the AFC North in a 3 seed with a win or a Pittsburgh loss. So once again, Ravens could basically handle their business. If they beat the Browns first off in the morning of the 2 games on Saturday, they got it all locked. Would that give the Steelers motivation when they play in the afternoon after the Ravens game? If Ravens end up winning, does it really matter to them? Do they want to just stay at the 5th seed, or do they want to play at the 6th seed at that point? Who knows? I do think that if they do play the 5th seed, they're going to play basically the Ravens. So, they will be playing the Texans. That's a good situation to be able to go into if you're the Steelers. The Steelers have been struggling quite a bit recently. So we will see what happens there, but they will know what is in front of them for the Steelers against the Bengals on Saturday afternoon. Crazy thing. NFL really scheduled that out perfectly to allow the NFC North to play early and to be able to kind of make it a very, very drama-based Saturday football. Great timing by the NFL. Great scheduling for them to be able to do that. So once again, the Steelers can clinch the AFC North in a 3 seed with a win and a Baltimore loss. So once again, just like I said earlier, if the Ravens do lose the first game versus the Browns, the Steelers could find a way to basically clinch the AFC North if they beat the Bengals. Now, the Bengals have a shot to get to the playoffs too, which is unbelievable. I mean, they have basically been, Joe Burrow has basically put that team on his back, and the defense has not been helpful by any means. So pretty crazy to see. So once again, we are Bengals fans this weekend because bottom line, the Bengals beat the Steelers. We have a chance to clinch the 5th seed with us beating the Raiders. Once again, FTR all day, every day, baby. So got to go out there, handle your business. And by the time of the kickoff for that Raiders Chargers game is on a Sunday afternoon. So we will know by then what's in front of us and what we got to play for. So it'd be interesting if it does doesn't work out in the favor for the Chargers to get to the 5th seed, will they really go out there and play Justin Herbert and all that team where they really care? I think personally you go out there and still handle your business. You want to get to 11 wins regardless at that point. So go out there and get it, make it happen. Nobody should get injured. Please, no injuries. But once again, we have a chance to get to the 5th seed, which would put us against the Houston Texans. Right now, we'd be sitting at the 6th seed. We would be playing the Ravens at this point, or it could flip to the Steelers, either which way. I feel good if we play the Steelers and go out to Pittsburgh. The Ravens game is just a fitting game for the NFL to have the Harbaugh Bowl round 2, same season. That's very, very fitting and very drama-filled all around. So I would love to see it, and I think it would be a great matchup either which way, but let's just try to get to that 5th seed. Bengals are our friends once again. They just beat the Denver Broncos once again, and that could be kicking them out of the playoffs here. And that scenario is crazy, guys. So you got right now where the Broncos basically need to win or have a Cincinnati loss to be able to get to the playoffs. Now, the Broncos play the Kansas City Chiefs. Are the Chiefs really going to go out there and keep playing their starters? Probably not. It sounds like Mahomes will be sitting down. They really have nothing to play for other than, just an extra victory on the victory wins-loss column. They are in the lock as the 1 seed. They have a bye week too, so maybe they just want to get Mahomes just to rest, let Carson Wentz go out there and do his thing. Once again, I have seen many times, and as Chargers fans, I think we've had scenarios where I think it might have been it's 2015, maybe 2014, where Mike McCoy could have gone out there and go to KC and to be able to beat them out there. They would have won. They would have got to the playoffs, but then what did they go do? Chase Daniels beat us, and we ended up not going to the playoffs. That's with their backups. So once again, Chiefs are going to go out there and keep playing. They have a great system with Andy Reid. They have a great ability to still go out there and beat the Broncos. The Broncos have been struggling quite a bit, guys. Bo Nix is starting to look a little bit more rookie-like, especially in the second half, making some odd mistakes. This could be the second year where Sean Payton has a good, solid run where they're in a great position to get the playoffs, and then they just fall flat on their face. Crazy to see that's happening for them right now once again. And, once again, Chiefs could go out there and still beat the Broncos. So we'll see where that leads. But once again, Broncos need to win, and they will be in. Or Cincinnati needs to lose, and then they will basically be in. So they have a couple little small scenarios. Now, Dolphins have a pretty easy schedule in front of them. It's kind of crazy to think about what happens with the Dolphins. Like, the Dolphins had no Tua for a while there, seemed completely dead in the water, but they have a chance. They're playing against the New York Jets, who have been absolutely struggling. I don't know. Aaron Rodgers I don't know if he cares really too much. They just got smoked again this week. But I know he says he wants to play for the Jets, but do they really want him back with the Jets? Who knows? But basically, the Dolphins, if they go out and win and Denver loses, they are in. They take the 7th seed for the playoffs. Crazy to think about that. Now with the Bengals versus Pittsburgh, win and Denver loss plus Miami loss basically gets the Bengals in. So once again, we are Bengals fans 100% through and through. We want to see the Bengals go out there and beat Pittsburgh, because what that does is it allows us to be able to go out there and potentially get the 5th seed and go out and play the Texans. That's like one of the perfect fitting situations for us. Gives us a game that we feel very, very confident that we could go into, and then it's a reseeding after that point of where we would go from there. Could potentially be whoever works out in all the other scenarios. But bottom line, this is very, very exciting football coming up here, guys. A lot of really, really fun games ahead of us. But bottom line, we are Bengals fans this weekend. Go out and beat Pittsburgh. Ravens, you could go ahead and, hopefully if you lose, actually, that helps us out a little bit too. But bottom line, let's just go ahead and get the Bengals to beat the Steelers, and then we handle our business against the Raiders. And you got to love it. You'd love to go out to Vegas and just absolutely obliterate them. Once again, the last couple games, we've gotten well over 30. We got to a 40-point game, and we've got to another 30-point game versus the Broncos. We go out and handle our business and just do our thing. But by kickoff on Sunday for the Chargers game, we will know if we have a chance at the 5th seed by then. So once again, exciting times, guys. Once again, we are in the playoffs. You got to love that. We got meaningful December football once again, actually going into January football here shortly. So once again, I want to hear from you guys. hit that like video, subscribe to this channel if you're not. Throw some comments below about this video, and we always appreciate the love and support here, guys. And once again, playoffs, boys. James from Bowl Bros, let's go.
Hey, what's up? Cameron Dick here, watching Bolt Bros podcast. Let's go.
Charged up, Bolt Bros on the night. LA Thunder and electric the light.